Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 2 of my Foundry Blind Let's Play. So in the last episode we set up some science and got a few things going there. As you can see, I have a bit more piled up. I have, after the last episode, I did create a bunch of the machines that I think that we will end up needing in this episode. So yeah, in this episode we're going to be creating kind of like a manifold. Somewhere over here. So we're going to start the process of placing that. And I'm going to start off kind of maybe on the smaller side just to kind of figure out how much space we're going to need. Something like that. And we're going to need to leave room for a belt on the outside. I guess technically we don't have to have the belt be on the platform. I think the inserter, the loader might possibly need to be, or whatever. We can set it up like this. So we need 8. That's 4. And 8. So the way that let's actually just see if we can even do this. Like that, and the loader would bring in. Alright, that looks like it is going to work. How far away can we place things? Alright, sweet. So I suppose there's 2 ways to go about doing this. One, we don't have the, what is it, the splitters yet, or the, what do they call it, the balancer. If we did, we could probably do something like have the ores come in. I mean, it doesn't really matter. This is a 1-to-1 ratio, so if something wasn't a 1-to-1 ratio, since we have 2 potential outputs, we could end up, I think, how do I... Oh, you have to hold it? You can't just... It'd be nice to just be able to right click and it have the adjustment made, whatever. So you could have a situation where you had something like this, and then maybe on the other side have... like this? That should work. I'm guessing that would work. Yeah, like that. Now we're not going to do it like that. We're just going to have like a standard, like a one-way manifold. So we're not going to worry about this right now. But I definitely can go ahead and get these set up. And this will be our output line. So what this will end up doing is this would now make it expandable, because let's say that the next belt, I'm guessing that the next belt is double. The next belt after that would probably be triple what this one is. Actually, I guess we can poke around and take a look. So the current belt moves 160 per minute. This one will move 320 per minute, so that's double. Rank 3. Is double the rank 2. Okay, so 640 per second. Is there a rank 4, or is that it? Rank 4 belts would move 1,280 per minute, so double the other one. Okay, well, I guess they are, we're going to be doubling every single time. So what that means is that once we upgrade to the next belt, you could just add another 8 of these smelters, and you wouldn't have to delete these lines. But what that also means is that, or I guess in theory, what I just explained with having stuff on the one side and then stuff on the other side, we could just double it that way. Yeah, you know what? I think that's going to be the plan. So we're going to leave room for this to come in like this. Actually, we probably won't even get to that point, because I'm guessing that before we even get to the point where this even really matters, we're going to have a lot of this mined out. I don't really know. You know, these games are often games that you have to have a feel for things. And yeah, so moving along. So while I was creating all of these machines that I think that we will end up needing, we ended up we ended up completing the quest for, what was it, completing the spaceship hull or something?
Danger averted. With the station secured, we can shift our focus back to the factory. Good job.
All right, back to the factory.
You're right. Collecting biomass by hand isn't future-proof. We should use Ignium ore and the burner generator so that we can automate our energy production.
All right, so we need to get the burner generator. Okay, so we need basic infrastructure. Where's the burner generator? Needs something else? Oh, we need to upgrade the scanner to scan Ignium, and then we can do the burner generator. Okay, yeah, the faster we get to automating the power, the better. So now we can okay. Oh, we haven't upgraded it yet. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's just kind of plan out what's going to happen over here. I think we're gonna plan for having double, so I am gonna have this set up similar to what I had. So that is gonna leave space there. We would then have a belt come in here, and let's say another belt for the other side. So that will end up looking like this. So that is our 8 for whichever ore, probably the one that's, probably this one, the Technum. Yeah, so that's going to be our Technum ore. This is probably probably not a big deal because he did say that we would need more plates than the bars, so this one is kind of a bigger deal, so we might end up doing, I think we're going to do 2 of each, even though we're going to be probably using more of the orange ore. So this will be, how do I want to do this? So this is our future proofing. This would be the second line of Technum ore. Maybe for now we should just do 1 of each. We don't really know how many materials we're going to need, or in what quantities, so we can definitely just kind of save a little bit. Oh, wow, we can...
Ignium ore scanning. That'll come in handy. Ignium is an ore that is highly flammable and can be used for automated power generation. Research the burner generator to utilize it. Ignium is buried beneath the ground. Use the scanner and your drill to find it.
All right, so we have Ignium ore over here. Nice. And we have our first Ignium ore. Okay, so I'm just going to clear out an area here. Okay, so I have partially excavated this area. I'm sure a lot of this was largely unnecessary, but you know what? It is what it is. I can always just not do that in the future if it, you know, if we determine that that was unnecessary. Now we just need to get back to our base, and I think we're going to have to get some miners out here at some point. So we are going to be doing that shortly, but I would like to kind of go ahead and start setting up the rest of this. You know what? This is fine for now. We are just going to do 1 and 1. So I'm going to have one belt of xenoferrite coming in, making plates, and one belt of technum ore coming in and making rods. I'll just use these additional sections as kind of like secondary if we end up upgrading the belts early. And yeah, we'll just go from there. We'll start with 1 to 1.
That's a lot of new technology. The recently unlocked burner generator will be crucial to automate energy generation. You can send ignium ore from drone miners right into it. It's also more efficient. Our next task is a big one. It's time to make some profits. According to our corporate strategy document, there is a very simple transport robot design we can make with our limited technology. This transport bot shall be our first product. Yes, I know. We need to get it to the station to sell it. For that, we'll use shipping pads. Spaceships can land there to transport items between the planet and the station. We will need to buy our first spaceship. We still have some Thermalite stored on the station, which is the galactic currency. A broken hangar? All right, we'll have to repair it before we can buy a ship. Operator, you know how station upgrades work. Let's go.
Okay, so I guess before we even got finished with our little design here, we have to do some more ship repairs. But I am still going to go ahead and get this completed, and then I will be back after that. Alright, so let's go to the space station, contact the space station, and figure out what we needed to do up here, the ship hangar. So I guess let's, yeah, basic repairs on the ship hangar. This is going to be a time-gated amount of, time-gated stuff again. Anyways, since we're going to have to wait for that, we might as well start setting up, I guess, the burners. Let's see what kind of cost this is going to be. That was not, yes, this is what I wanted. There's our logistics container. So burner generator, we need a bunch of stuff we already have, or mostly have. It's a lot of xenoferrite plates though. 1.8 megawatts. That's actually not that bad. I think the small ones were 600, so this is triple the amount. So if we can directly mine into it, I'm gonna try to set up enough that we can maybe, so I did 8. Alright, so while we're waiting on that, I'm also going to queue up some more science stuff. I want these balancers, so we definitely need the balancers. I don't know about these doors. Like, that's kind of an odd place to put these, but it is what it is. And I want the second loader. That is going to be huge. Sorry, second lane loader. That is going to be huge for being able to make some more of the components that we need, because as of right now we can... Well, I mean, there's maybe ways that we could get around having one thing on one side and one thing on the other side. But for now, it kind of seems like we're limited to one on one side, one on the other. This is kind of a funky way to get, one on this side, one on this side, and then one out of the middle. You could probably also... Here, let me just not beat around the bush and just kind of show what I'm thinking. So let's say you had a machine like this. Once we got the balancer, you could do maybe something like this. Have like the balanced section coming out here, and then have a loader like that. And I suppose you could do the same thing on this side too. So have them be, oh, no. We don't have undergrounds. Okay, never mind, scratch that. Okay. Okay, so let's see how many we can squeeze in here. So at least 4. That's something. So he said that we could feed this directly in. I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe that's how that works? Oh, it needs foundation. Alright, well, I will just undermine this. No, I'm not going to undermine it. Yeah, why not? Can I? That would be too easy. No, yeah. Okay, so we're going to give this guy some power. And now that should be enough to power this. Okay, did he not say that we could feed this directly in? Alright. Burner generator. Yeah, it doesn't say... Okay. Doesn't say anything about being mined directly into it, but whatever. I must have misheard what that was. Alright, well, in that case, we are... I'm going to have to build these up. Okay, well, again, I don't know why they decided to make a different type of, like a different slope, but whatever. I also probably should have had, like, this just facing that way. You know what? I'm going to change it up. Okay, now we have some stuff going. We have power. These are now collecting. Mostly. Yeah, and a lot of this is kind of overkill. These are going to empty out their items faster than these. As a matter of fact, these might not ever even make it. But now we have a way to bring in some items. Why would they give us an option for 4, I wonder? I highly doubt that this will be necessary. Just 1 is probably necessary. I also don't know how fast this is going to consume what's here. So I don't really know what, if anything, we should do about that. But what I do know is we now have way more power than we would have started with, or had we like kept on with the burner miners. So those 3 burner miners are equal to 1 of these, not burner miners, the little biomass burners. These are each the same amount as those 3 over there. So I am never going to get used to this toggle thing. See, whenever it comes to Factorio, you know, it's based on which direction the inserter is facing, which is, you know, relatively easy to figure out. You just hit R to rotate it, and that's good to go. Dice into your program, it's whichever side you start attaching first. If you attach to the belt first, it's going to start there into the machine, and then it'll go from the belt to the machine. Or if you start at the machine and then go to the belt, it'll go from the machine to the belt. This one is a lot more... I don't like the idea that you have to pick which one. Maybe the default will just help me, I don't know, do it automatically. Whatever. I suppose we will figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to set up a couple more of these and maybe add in some more of the drones. the drone ports. That way we can get some added for the Technum and Xenoferrite. Okay, well, having the loaders on default, which is kind of like an automatic, it seems to detect which direction it needs to go, seems to be the best. And we are just going to get rid of the rest of this. That should give us power, so we should have enough power. I don't even know if there's really a way to know for sure that we have enough power over here, but... well, I guess one way to find out is to take these away. Everything is still running, so we are still good to go. Okay, so we have power. We still need to set up this manifold, so I'm just going to tear this down quickly and get everything... get the ore kind of funneled into these over here, and then we will call it from there. Oh, let's actually take a look at this guy.
We did it! Automated power generation is the backbone of every factory.
Yes. As a matter of fact, 90% of most factory games, the power is probably the single most important defining factor on what is limiting your expansions. So the more power you have in these factory automation games, the higher, the larger your capabilities of expanding are.
Okay, math genius. If it takes 8 small smelters to fill up a conveyor belt, then we'll build 8 for each metal ore.
Alright, well, I mean, thanks for doing the math that we already did.
You're right. This will provide a good supply of plates and rods. But given the task at hand, soon we might have to scale it up even further. For now, let's not get ahead of ourselves and just take a moment to celebrate this victory.
Or we could get ahead of ourselves and just, like, go ham and make a ton. No, we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna kind of follow his recommendation. Why not? Okay, so I need to get these connected to power as well, so I'm just gonna drag this over to somewhere over here. Single line is fine. And like I said, I'm going to tear this down real quick, and we are going to... thankfully, we have a buffer science, because we're probably going to go no science for a little bit. I mean, do I even really need to tear this down at all for now? We have these on the outside. You know what? I'm just going to leave them for now, just because. Why not? Alright, so let's do this real quick. Yeah, we're getting into the funkiness. Okay, so that one is set up there. You know what? That is not what I wanted. Oh no, I've blocked myself. What did I even just put? This. Right, we do not want this to be right now. We don't want these right next to each other. We want to leave room for potential other lines coming in. So I'm going to delete these and recess those back. Okay, and these should be consuming roughly the exact number of ore that we need to fill up the smelters. There shouldn't be any left over, because these are consuming the exact right amount, right? I'm sorry, does that have a fuel source? Oh, that's the item. And it is a 1-to-1, so this is going to be accepting... Should have been a 1-1. Oh, we don't have the miners to support this. Okay, well, we're going to deal with that in the next episode. Yeah, we're going to take these smelters down and we're going to add some miners. Okay, that is it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we need to start the process of maybe trying to make a little bit of a bus. So we're going to have some outgoing materials coming out and see if we can maybe start setting up a little bit of a bus. We only have 2 items for now, but you know what? Not a big deal. We can always leave a little bit of room for extras if we need. I don't necessarily know how crossing over is going to work, so I don't know if, you know, this elevated... I don't know if this elevated belt is going to be the thing that kind of helps us get over other belts or what, but yeah. We will probably figure that out soon, I'm guessing. Okay, that is going to be it for me. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.